I jumped out to check on those shaggy manes and come over to this leaf pile. It's just a few feet away. Looks like they probably raked the leaves over here from the lawn, or maybe they just blew here. Looks like they blew them over here with a blower. But we have a bunch more Blewit mushrooms, Lepista nuda. And these are just growing in an oak leaf pile, like I told you in an earlier video from today. But it's a great time for the Blewits, and it seems to be a real good year for them. These ones are nice. Oh, well, that one's fresh, but it got chowed on by a bug, so I won't keep it. But these two are real nice. Actually, they're good, but it looks like they've been getting chomped on by slugs, so I don't know, it's going to be a bit of a picking. Usually the slugs aren't too bad because they'll just take like a big section out, whereas maggots or something will be inside and have a hard time eating them then. But these all are so nice and young and fresh, even though that one I think I'll leave. They'll be buried all in under these leaves though. I'm trying not to disturb the leaves a whole lot, but usually if you just move them back a little bit like that, you'll see the calves just hiding underneath a leaf or two, sort of like this right here. These leaves out of the way. There's a nice big Blewit. Now these ones don't have much of that purple color at all. It's more of almost close to a gray, but I will take these home and spore print them just to make sure. There's a nice pair of wood Blewits. With the mycelium attached. These things will eat through these leaves in no time. When this season is over, this whole leaf pile will likely be reduced to something like that. Just tiny little particles and more or less dirt. It'll almost revert it to dirt in just one season alone. They recycle the leaves, make them into nutrients so the trees and stuff can use them. There's another. A lot of these have been chomped off right at the base by the snails. But these are nice and firm. Even though they've been bit up on by those slugs, they'll be fine to eat. I'll just trim away the sections where the slugs have really ate on them, and that'll just add to the pot, you know. But there's some more wood Blewits for you. Just a slightly different coloration, a little bit lighter in color, because they're more exposed to the well, maybe because they're less exposed to the light, because some of them were hiding under leaves. But you know, I found the ones earlier growing in the spruce needles and the cedar leaves and needles, and now I'm finding them growing in the oak leaves, just in a oak leaf pile. If you pile up your leaves in your backyard, you likely have wood Blewits growing in the leaf pile. And this would be the time of year to go check. So there's the leaf pile with the Blewits in it. That's about the size of the leaf pile I found, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, and I found over 200 nice fresh wood blewits that were all right about 3 inches in diameter, growing in a leaf pile about the size of that right there. But this leaf pile goes all the way down through here and around and back in there, and there's likely blewits all in through this, chowing down on those dead leaves. Here's some really big ones. They might be too big to eat, but they're pretty neat. I mean, that's as wide as my entire knife, so 7 inches, 7.5 inches. And really, even though these are big, they're still pretty solid. You probably could eat those, but since I got a bunch of these smaller ones, and if you look down in these leaves, you'll see white. That looks like white mold. That's the mycelium. That's the roots of these mushrooms, going through all those leaves and eating them and decomposing them, turning them back into dirt, breaking them down so that everything can get the nutrients out. But you can see how they're just buried under these leaves. And like I said, you know, the ones I found before that were in the oak leaf pile, they always have a more brownish appearance to the cap. And not like a dark brown, but like a light brown or tan color. And they usually have a more gray appearance underneath versus purple or lilac. I don't know if it's because of the lack of light, because they're buried under the leaves, or maybe it's the tannins in the oak leaves that does it. And there's a lot of tannin in oak leaves that could easily stain the caps brown, I suppose, but I'm not sure about that. But I do know these are certainly blewits. I'll go ahead and pick one of these big ones just to take a look at the underside. Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's probably a 1/4 pounder. Man, I would actually be tempted to keep that mushroom. It's really nice and firm. I don't normally find them that big, where they're still nice and firm and fresh. Let's see, what's this back here? This isn't. What is this? I'm trying to get a look at that myself here for a second, but that's definitely an odd colored wood blewit, if that's what that is. Now I'm almost certain that's a wood blewit, but just because it's a little different looking, I'm gonna pass on it, because, you know, it could be some other closely related mushroom that isn't edible. Although I'm almost certain it's a Blewit. It's just still quite young. That looks like that's what those are. Little cluster of very young ones. But I've actually got enough. I think I've got about, well, let's see here. Take a look. I think I've already got about 20 or so, 30 maybe. And then I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, about another 16 here. So about 40 or 50 total. Plus I got those hedgehogs. That's enough mushrooms for me for now. I'm gonna dry these out though. That's the nice thing about the Blewits is you can dry them, and they're actually pretty good rehydrated. I tend to use them more as a flavoring and stuff, rather than like as a main course or something. But they're a pretty good mushroom. One thing, one word of caution is some people have reported that they can have adverse reactions to this mushroom, like stomach upset or something. I'm not sure. I don't think it's anything extremely serious, but it is it's always good when you eat wild mushrooms, or really any wild edibles, to just eat a little bit the first time and see how it affects you, because people have food allergies, and so that applies to wild food as well as the food we buy in the store, like peanuts and stuff, so, and wheat or whatever, milk. So you just have to consider that and only eat a small portion. When I first ate these, I just took one mushroom about the size of that and sliced it up in like 4 or 5 mushroom slices and sauteed it up and ate it, and it was pretty good. And the next day I felt fine, so I ate a little more, and then we all had some, and they were pretty good. But I will say this, I think after that I did eat quite a few at one sitting, and I did get a gastric upset or whatever from it for a couple days, and it was just a one-time thing, so I don't know if it was just my, I don't know, body adjusting to them or what, or maybe I don't know, the mushrooms were fresh and they were certainly wood Blewits. So all I can say is I think I did have an adverse reaction to them that one time, and I didn't eat them again for a couple years, and I've ate them since, and I've been fine. So just have to watch out is all. But that's it. That's the wood Blewit. I don't want to keep going on and on. I think I've given about all the information I can find on them. It's just seems like it's turning out to be a really good year for them, so I figured I'd give everybody the heads up, that's interested. Now would be a good time to go out and at least learn to try and identify the mushroom, because you should be able to find it out there along with other mushrooms that look like it, and it will give you some good practice on identification and stuff, if at the least. So